What's going on, Ventric here? I have quite the collection of cards in front of me here. Can you guess what they all have in common? I'll give you a second. Now, if you guessed that they are all counterfeit, give yourself a gold star and put a like on this video. Unfortunately, these cards were sold to one of my local gaming stores. Someone came in October of 2021. Near the end of the day, the normal buyer wasn't in that day or had already gone home. And so this other employee took a look at the cards the person wanted to trade in, looked at the values, and purchased the cards off them. And as I said, it was near the end of the day, so they then closed up the store. On their way home, they were didn't feel good about it. They're like, maybe I should have checked them out a little bit more. Hopefully everything's okay. The next morning they came in, they showed the cards to the normal buyer, and at that point he was given the bad news that these cards were in fact counterfeit. Now, the value of these cards is quite substantial, so the store was out hundreds of dollars on this mistake. So what I want to do today is walk you through these counterfeits from 2021, and the store was gracious enough to lend them to me so that I can help educate you and show you what you need to know so that you don't get caught making the same mistake and cost yourself lots of money and have worthless cardboard. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to start off by, first I'm going to show you what you should be looking for, what you should see. There's something with these counterfeiters. They have said, people have talked to them in the past, and they have said that they've been asked, why are the back of the cards not as good as the front? Like, why is it easier to tell the counterfeit from the back than the front? And their answer is pretty simple. They put more effort into the front of the card. They don't really care about the back. As long as the back can pass from a mile away, they don't care. It's the front that needs to pass, because the bulk of their clientele are not people trying to buy these as scammers to try and resell them to somebody as a fake. They are Magic players who want to pass them off as real cards when playing in tournaments. Now, you put these in double sleeved, and someone's not going to think twice, like question whether you're playing with counterfeit cards, because from a distance, it's hard to tell. When you get up close, you touch them, you feel them, you look at them, then that's when it becomes way more apparent. Now, not to say you're not going to get caught. Like, don't use these at an official tournament, because if you get caught, you're either if you know they're counterfeit, you're probably getting yourself disqualified. If you don't know they're counterfeit, then, and you can sell that to the judge, then worst case, or the best case, is you're going to have to go and replace these cards. If you can't, you're going to be putting basic lands in their place. So yeah, in deck check, some judges will check for counterfeits, some will not. It all depends how thorough they are, and just don't use them. Don't feed these criminals. So I'm going to walk you through what you should be looking for. To start off, I'm going to use just a sample. Normally when you're comparing counterfeit to real, you want to compare like for like, for feel, for color, for everything, for texture, for everything. And I'm going to do like for like in a bit, but right now I'm just going to show you a card that you know is real. Here we go. It's a Crimson Vow basic land. And we're going to use this just for start off looking at the back of the card. We're going to look at the green dot. Everyone talks about the green dot. We got to do the green dot test. We got to do the green dot test. So let's just turn on our handy dandy microscope here and get in on this green dot. So when people talk about the green dot, what do you want to look for? A lot of people say, look for the red L, look for the red L, look for the red L. Well, I hate to break it to you, but not all real cards have the red L. In some cases, it's very light and very hard to see, and in other cases, there's been print errors where you don't see the red L. I'll go over that in another video, but this is just going to be a quick overview so we can look at these actual counterfeit cards. What you want to look for in the green dot is there is the red L. You can see it in the top right of the green dot in the white and yellow section. You can kind of see this dark. There's a dot, a dot, a dot, a dot. That is a red L. It's 4 dots like that. That's the first thing people look for. The main thing I look for, if the red dot is there, great. But let's go more in depth. When you're looking at the green dot as a whole, you want the black outer ring to be solid black. And if it's not, then you have issues, because they're all going to be solid black. You want to look at the yellow dots in the ring. Look at the pattern of the yellow dots, the grid. Look how many there are. And if you go to like any point on the black part and go up to the white and yellow, if you count diagonally, there should be 3 yellow dots. So 1, 2, 3 yellow dots between the black and the white. So there we have the 3 things. And also look at the dot on the outside. The bottom and the right side are flat. So like this it's straight, like this it's straight. And on the left you've got bumps. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 bumps. Every green dot is going to have that. So just look for that. Flat bottom, flat right, the 4 dots on the left-hand side of the green dot. So that's what we're looking for when it comes to green dot. And other things on the back of the card that we'll go over is the rosette pattern. If you notice on the rosette pattern, it's predominantly, you can see the black dots are in this kind of pattern, like a diamond kind of pattern, and that continues. Remember that. The black dots are the predominant dot, and they're in this pattern. And another thing people like to look at is the trademark, which is, where's the trademark at? Right below this C somewhere. There it is. So we can kind of look at the trademark. You can see the white. You can see some blue dots, a little bit of dots in it. You can kind of see the thickness of it. So that is our control here. This is our basic mountain. Now, of these counterfeits, there are 2 different batches. Like I say, there's a single card. This Hallowed Fountain, Zendikar Expedition, is different than the rest. All the rest of the other ones are the same. So I'm going to show you this Zendikar Expedition. We're going to have a look here at the green dot. As you can see, the black is not solid. It's fuzzy. You do not have flat on the bottom or on the right. You do not have the ridges on the left. And if you look at where the red L is, it's just a whole bunch of red dots. And then if you try to count the yellow dots between the black and the white and the yellow, you're looking, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The dots are smaller. They're in a smaller pattern. We look at the rosettes. You don't really see any black. It's all kind of jumbled together. And we look at the trademark on this one. And again, you can kind of see, you don't really see the white. It's just all a mix. It looks a little bit thicker. It looks different. So this one is off. And so that is that Hallowed Fountain. That's kind of the outlier. It's a different print run, a different counterfeit. We look at this Teferi Hero of Dominaria here. And we take a peek at its green dot. All the other ones have the same green dot as this. All the other counterfeits. And you can look again. The black is a little bit more solid, but you don't have your straight lines on the bottom and the right. And you don't have the ridges on the left. Also, there is no red L, but as I said, some real cards aren't going to have that. But you look at the card as a whole. You add up all these things, and where do you lean? Do you lean towards real or counterfeit? In this case, we look at the yellow dots as well. And again, they're smaller. They're in a pattern, but they're smaller. If you look, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 on a diagonal to get between the black and the white. So again, the yellow dots are not right. And then you look at the rosette pattern. Again, you don't see that predominant black dot. This is more of a cleaner pattern, but it's not the correct pattern. And then we look at the TM. And this TM looks a little bit better. This may pass. Now, as I said, you want to compare like for like. So we've kind of gone over everything. So I'm going to pull out. These are real cards from my collection that match up with some of the cards here. So we're going to pull out a Teferi Hero of Dominaria that I pulled from a pack. And we're going to take a look at the back. Just quickly, you can see flat on the bottom right, dots on the left. We've got our red L. We've got our 1, 2, 3 and our yellow. We've got our black. So we're comparing like for like here. Dominaria versus Dominaria. And then we look at the TM. Now we look at the front. This is the real card here. We're going to look at the holograms. See, this one doesn't have what I really wanted to see, but you can kind of look at the way the hologram is, the symbols on it, compared to this one. Like, the light reflects differently. It's not as clean. I'm going to pull out here one that has a better hologram for you to look at. This Force Negation here. So look at the Force Negation hologram here. See, this gives you a little bit more insight here. When you look at the hologram, you can see that there is, let me just adjust here, there is microprint in the Planeswalker symbol that reads Wizards. And the other thing that's different on these is the holograms on these cards are either going to be flush with the card or a little bit indented into the card. On these counterfeits, so on the Teferi, these noble hierarchs here, the windswept teeth, there's a deep indent. They're indented in the card, but it's a deep indent. Like, I don't know if you can see, if I kind of feel, I can really feel it. And this hallowed fountain here, it's totally different. As I said, it was a different print run, but it's actually, I can flick it. It's above the card. It is a sticker that was stuck to the card. It's not even embedded in the card. So that's basically what you want to look for on the holo stamp. It needs to be embedded in the card. Look for the micro print. Just look at the way things look. Like, let me grab one of these force negations, one of these fake force negations here, and look at its hologram and compare. It's like, look at that. Like, it just looks like a mess, right? They try to do it, but it's garbage. We'll grab another force negation. Again, just a jumbled mess. Another force negation. Same like wrinkly, jumbled mess. I'm also going to show you on the outside of these cards. If you look at the black, I don't know if we can see it. Look at the waviness in the black. Like, look at, it's not solid black on the outside of the card. We look at a real force negation. The black is solid. This card, this waviness, it's not solid black. If we bring it up to the camera, I don't know if it'll pick it up. You may not be able to see, but if you can see, like, look at there, you can see the bottom one is a real one, the top one is a fake, and you can see it's not black. It's like an off shade. And all of these force negations that are fake have this off shade. Off shade. So another thing to look at, compare like for like. So we've looked at the force negations, we looked at the Teferis. Same thing, Noble Hierarch. This is a real one. And look at the mana symbols. Clean. We've got lines going through the mana. This one has a micro print. It's kind of hard to see because the light's shining on it in the Planeswalker symbol. We'll grab one of these fake Noble Hierarchs now, and again, look at that. Like, it looks nothing like the real card. And if you look at the Planeswalker symbol, remember before I showed you the micro print on these ones? They just kind of have these lines on it to try and fake you out, but there's no micro print there. So as you can see, that's the main thing you look at. Now, the funny thing, the thing that kind of really pisses me off, and Wizards needs to learn from this, is look at these foils. I'm gonna turn off the microscope here. Look at these foils. These are the fake foils. We've got the Teferi, the stained glass Teferi, and we've got this Hellfound. And look at them. They are flat. Put them down. They lay flat. They've been sitting out in my basement now for a week. They lay perfectly flat. Now, I have here for you. These are from the same series of Secret Layers. There's the Ugin and the Ral Storm's Conduit. And if you look at these, they're seesaws. They're Pringles. I'm gonna open the Ral here. Oh, I stuck to it. I'm going to open the Ral here for you. It says never, this has been sealed, as you can see. It's never seen air. It's been sealed. And look at that. I bet I can stand it up on its end. Maybe. Maybe not. But there's the fake Teferi. There's the real Ral. I'll show you. I don't even know if this will go under. It's so bent. But let's just pull up our microscope. And you can see, look at our green dot. Looks good. Looks like exactly what I've told you you're supposed to look for. And heal the microscope here. And look at that. Wizards. Why are you letting counterfeiters make cards look better than, like, better foils? Come on, get with the program. And then the other thing, like I mentioned, the back. If you look at the backs, look at the color difference. Force negation, same thing. That's the real one. I don't even need to, like, just to feel. They feel gritty. They don't feel right. But look at that. Compare like for like, and you're not going to get messed up. Again, eye test the fronts. It's a little bit, that's fake. This is real. This color pops more. But under a sleeves dull the color, right? So, as I said, my store got nailed by these. Not my store, one of the stores I go to, and I don't want you to. So look for these little things. Invest in a jeweler's loupe. They're like $10 on Amazon, and you'll see everything I saw in this microscope, because that's in my kit. Whenever I buy cards, I have a jeweler's loupe with me, and I check for. There's more things. I'm probably gonna do a series of all the things I check for. This was just a quick, dirty, like, here's a bunch of counterfeits. Like, we've got Double Masters, we've got Zendikar Rising Expeditions, we've got Modern Masters. Like I said, we even had the Stained Glass Planeswalkers. We've got a Teferi from Dominaria. So it's like they will counterfeit anything that's playable because people want to play with them. But then there is those nefarious people out there who want to scam you, want to take your money. Don't get scammed. Look for these simple things. Invest in a loupe. I have two. I have one I keep at home all the time, and I have one that's always in my backpack. If I'm doing a trade, if I'm buying a card, I always check things. I have a scale as well. We'll go into that. But be safe. Don't fall for these counterfeit cards, and definitely do not add to it by purchasing them. All right. I hope you learned something from this. If you did, please, please, please click that like button, click that subscribe button, and hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, as always, be safe and have fun.